Hi guys, welcome back to the Farside InTheView with your most consistent best skits, Martin Chanza. If you're new to this setup, please make sure that you make the things happen so you can get notified every time I drop new content. Follow, turn on notification, plant the tracker, whatever works for you, because every episode is becoming a can't miss. As you can see, we are back with an exclusive interview setup. Received a bad signal all the way from Eswatini telling us that its biggest hidden gem by the name of Oriiginelle is on that expensive hunger and ready to change the landscape of the SA hip-hop scene as we know it. So we had to put it on record, the only segment where we take the time to dive into your favorites' latest releases. Oriiginelle is sitting on an instant classic, Change, featuring the multi-award winning actress and SAHHA Nominated Hip-Hop Artist Zulu Mecca. I got the time to talk to her about her release, and I don't spoil, so without wasting any time, let's jump in. See you on the other side.
Losing the sound, but I'm 29, still stuck in the gutter, learning from the folks with the bread by the butter. If you gotta say it cause you press, just say it with your chest, little dog, you ain't even gotta stutter.
You kickstarted the year with Expensive Hunger, a beautiful record that reintroduced me to you. Reason I say reintroduced is I've seen you on the timeline for a long while because of your project, Metamorphophils, which I never got to dig deep into until Expensive Hunger hit me. And tapping into your 2023 project and recent releases, especially Change, it does feel like we're getting a reintroduction of Oriiginelle as an artist because of growth. Change, focusing on your journey of transformation. Would you say I'm on point when I say this is kind of like an Oriiginelle reintroduction of some sort? If so, what could you say is different this time around?
Thanks for that question. That's a very serious question, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a reintroduction of Oriiginelle. I think it's a reintroduction sonically, but with regards to Oriiginelle herself, I don't think so, because if you look at Metamorphophils, it was all about basically pinpointing the problems that kept putting me in like toxic cycles, and the problems of childhood trauma, how to navigate that. Am I ready to navigate that? That was basically Metamorphophils. And when then we move from that to Expensive Hunger, you start to see that I'm basically doing the work now, the work that I was picking up on in Metamorphophils. So now it's like it's you and me. We are eye to eye and we're dealing with it, which is why it's very, I think, poetic. Like the way that I'm writing this time around is very poetic because it's raw and it's just my words, myself, and the beat. Whereas with Metamorphophils, there was different soundscapes to give you that experience that, ooh, we have this issue. Should we actually look into this? Should we do that? So yeah, now that we've moved from the pinpoint process, we're going into the, okay, let's sit down and let's do the work, like actually do the work. So yeah, I mean, it is growth. I am all about growth at the end of the day, because if you actually also look into the name Oriiginelle and its significant, the three eyes in the name, it's stages which I am going through, and this is something that I didn't even expect to go through. So a lot of people usually ask with like other interviews that, oh, okay, which eye do you think you're on now? And I think which is recently, yeah, they've been asking me recently, and I think that's when I'm realizing that, oh snap, the eyes really are like a whole stage. So you'll see with the projects that will follow each other that we are going in stages, and we're going through the eyes in my name. Yeah.
Speaking of growth and people asking you which eye you're on, I think the eyes that are getting drawn to you should also tell us which phase we are on, because from outside, you being seen by artists like Mecca sure must be helping you channel where you are in expressing yourself. Could we say that?
Um that's crazy that you actually put it like that, because I hadn't seen it like that. I think for me it was a thing of, for every eye unlocked, it should be a different level altogether, different craftsmanship, sonically as well. So yeah, I am, now that you've said it, I am realizing that for every eye that's unlocked comes a couple eyes as well, which is pressure. I won't lie, but I think it's pressure that I'm prepped for, because I mean, those eyes are there for a reason. Those are my 3 eyes. They're there for a reason. And I know that, there's just certain stages that I'm trying to overcome. And overcoming those stages comes with a lot of responsibility. And I think I've been aware of that for a while. I just didn't think, I was going to, let me say, unlock those stages this soon. It does feel a bit soon for me. But at the same time, music is spiritual. So the way you write, sometimes it really is just the spirit writing through you. And I have fully embraced that, especially with Expensive Hunger and Change. I've embraced it big time, that there was a certain channel that I tapped into, and it wasn't the one that I'm used to. So that for me was like literally the of the unlocking. So yeah, the eyes draw different eyes as well. Weirdly, I'm so curious to see, because for me, I think I'm on 1.5 eyes, because it's 3, so I'm only halfway, and I'm curious to see the eyes that will be brought my way on I2. I'm a bit scared of I3, but I'm trying to prep for that. I really am trying to prep for that.
So you teased Change February with no features, which gets some eyes. Zulu Mecca asked you to send something, which is crazy. You could have sent any song in the works from there, or started a new one for her, but you went with that one. Why did you feel like Change was the perfect song for them?
Change weirdly already had features, actually, but I was having such a good day that day that I posted it. I was having a day that is similar to what I am rapping about on that verse. It was a manifested day, so I felt generous and I felt good about that day. So I was just like, why not just share the snippet, because this is exactly, it's what I've been hoping for. So I just shared that snippet. I shared mine also because I didn't have the permission from the other people that were featured on it to post their verse. So I was just like, let me just do mine and then I'm good, So then to get eyes from Mecca, I was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. So luckily not luckily, but it was a bit complicated. We had already finished the project in February. So I went through the project just to see that, okay, what's the vibe here that could work for this feature. And Change was it was perfect, man. It was absolutely perfect, because also we had discussed with my producer, I think it was in October, that, yeah, it was in October, that we wanted a feature from Zulu Mecca. And we're going to work hard for it. And then for that to happen was like, whoa, we literally put this out in the universe and we're like, yo, we're going to get this feature one day. And change is all about manifesting. So it was like, yo, this is actually the perfect song for it because, you know, it's coming to fruition. So yeah, I think everything was just aligning with the song and with her and everything that we were trying to achieve last year for this year. So yeah, it was the perfect one. It really, really was. It fit in all aspects. And when we finally did it together and we were in studio, it was just mind blowing. It was absolutely mind blowing. It worked and it works. When you hear it, it works very, very well.
A question hard to duck is how was your experience with Mecca in the process? Because looking at you two, it does feel like it's expected simply from how you guys sound and carry yourselves. Someone who doesn't know you two would easily believe it if you said you're related. I'm interested in how it felt linking up and some of the things you have picked up from her when working.
Um, that's crazy. That's a huge ass compliment for me. Because obviously, you know, Mecca's like yo, she's one of the best, man. She's definitely one of the best. A rapper that I have looked up to for a long time, a very, very long time. And when we actually got into like communication, I told her that, you know, more than anything, dog, I'm so grateful that it was you, out of all the people that like I look up to, that was like, hey, let's do something. Because, you know, it's a different feeling when it's a woman reaching out to another woman. You know, it's a lot of sisterly love, and I appreciate that so much. I think we definitely need more women uplifting each other, because we see it often in the game, when, you know, the boys will link up and support each other and all of that. But with women, it's always we're fighting each other because there's limited positions for us. But we need to stop that mentality and understand that it's not limited. There's a space for all of us and we can coexist together. So yeah. But to answer the question properly, how was the experience? It was epic. It was very epic because I'm a huge fan, obviously. So I definitely did fangirl when we linked. And then just seeing her in her element and do her thing was like, whoa. She did it like it's just nothing. It's light work, man. That was very mind blowing. Experiencing her aura, especially in studio, was a lot, man. It was really a lot. It was amazing to see, amazing to witness, amazing to be a part of. And I did ask her that, yo, like, how do you handle all the pressure, especially in studio? Because, you know, we always listen to each other's music and it's just like, yo, this person's great and all of that. And then when we're face to face, it's a different story. Only because of like the pressure that we've put on each other and the bar being so high. So I just asked her, like, how do you keep composed in such situations? And man, she told me something that like I even use today, because I was always very scared to get into studio with well-known people, you know, because of the expectations. But she was just like, at the end of the day, we're all human. We know how everything goes. If I mess up, I mess up. Like, it's standard. I'm not gonna be this perfect person. You know, we're going to try things out until it's what we like. We can't just come in all macho and like, yeah, I'm perfect. what you hear with the final product, of a song when you listen to it. It's not like that. The process is it's a long process, and it's not a perfect one. So I really, really do appreciate that from her, because I'm able now to enter any kind of studio and just be myself and not, expect myself to be all perfect and all that, and make sure that people are satisfied with the execution. And it's just me. It's really just me, and she played a huge role in that. She is the role in that. But the experience was epic. Very it was an amazing moment. It was a wow moment, but at the same time, it was a huge learning curve for myself, in the music industry, especially with big players like that, and understanding that, okay, moving forward, this is how, we can do things. We don't have to be all macho and come in perfect.
You mentioned that you have been sitting on a project. That's how change comes in the picture. When was the song written, and are there specific events that led you to penning it, or specific events that inspired the project, making you pen down change?
Change was recorded, I think it was maybe November, December of 2023. Yeah, so by that time, we had, I think, maybe 5 songs from the project, and majority of the songs were about, the downs, the lows, because 2023 was a huge, huge low year for me. It was not the best year. I think it's actually one of the worst years of my life. Yeah, I was very depressed. A lot was going on. There were just a lot of changes happening, especially at home, that I couldn't necessarily understand like that. And so I just didn't know how to navigate. I didn't know how to channel that emotion, except, through music. That was the only thing that was healing me, just putting it out there and just letting it go, every emotion bit by bit, and just recording it and then let go. That's the best way. I know how to cope anyways. So change then came about because I think we had recorded a couple of songs that were hectic, and I was like, yo, dude, like, I just want to skip to the part where everything's okay again. Everything's fine, and life is what I had imagined it a couple years ago. The dreams, living that dream, that I've always had as a little kid, making it in music, being financially stable and having financial freedom through music. That's what I was longing for, and just healthy relationships, with my family, and my relationship, and all of that. So I then decided to just put all of that into the music, and that's what change is about. It's skipping to that part, and the way that I went about it was, let's just imagine that everything is going to work out. It's inevitable. As long as we just put in the work, as long as we keep positive, as long as we just push through it, everything's going to work out. So that's a reflection of change. It's a manifestation that is absolutely inevitable. I think also, to add on to what I previously said, what made change the one where I decided to put Mecca on, is because of all the iffy moments in 2023, and just feeling like I don't want to do this life thing anymore so often, and then to get recognition like that from someone of that stature on a song like that, where I was like, manifesting a life that I've been longing for. It just, yeah, I know it fit. It really fit. So yeah, that's another reason actually why Mecca was the perfect person for this song, because it's something I've been wanting for a long time.
What should we look forward to now that you have given us Expensive Hunger and Change, which I believe are part of the upcoming project? Are there any teasers?
I see you. One of the reasons why Expensive Hunger had to come out first, and everyone told me not to take that song out first as a first single in the project, because firstly the intro is so long and it's like raps, the raps that scare the baddies. But it was so important for me to take it out first, because it's not just a single for me. Like, it's a statement to kind of tell the world that, I'm hungry for this. I'm really, really hungry for this, and I want to challenge myself as much as possible to take out as much music this year as possible. And I know that, we are halfway through. And December doesn't really count musically, especially for independent artists, because a lot of these big radio stations and the big bloggers, they don't necessarily operate in December with us independent artists anyway. So already December is just off. It's for huge artists mostly, but I really do want to take out as much music, and it's a bit far-fetched and it's a bit ridiculous, but if I was able to take out a single a month in 2022, it's like, why not take it a bit further and release a couple of things in the second half of 2024. That's all I'm gonna leave you with.
I just got a great feeling. I know things about to change. The statement speaking numeric tongues. The grass is getting greener, the air is soothing my lungs. The mirrors that I'm smoking, high grade, I swear it's dumb. How the future this bright when I'm eating on dim sum. Highly levitated like some Christians in a two-piece. She my dogs romanticizing like it's Snoopy. Please don't bring your friends, can't you see this whip is 2 seats? Honor of my masters, can't you see this whip is new beat? A different caliber, overrated for amateurs. Climbing without the banisters, cutting throats like some Lannisters. Tighten up my diameter, circle like keep it granular. My aura logo flatten her by your written ambassador.